Hi everyone. The video you're about to see was originally live streamed on May 13th over on my Twitch channel as well as here on YouTube. I've cut it down so that I've just cut out all the extra talking and the ad breaks and all that kind of stuff so that you guys can enjoy kind of a truncated, edited version. But what I was doing during that live stream was I was actually doing some cross-stitch design. A lot of people expressed interest in seeing my process for designing, and we ended up having a really fun little stream. People were asking some great questions, they had some great suggestions, and I just really enjoyed the process overall. So what we did was, you're going to see me take this concept sketch right through the design process, and since then I've actually stitched it up. So we're going from sketch to stitch all in the course of this video. I did get the question what I use for designing. I don't have a drawing tablet or anything like that. I do my sketches on paper with pencil, and then I just try and recreate it as close as I can using mouse in the WinStitch program. I use the paid version of WinStitch, which is, in my opinion, completely worth the money if you're going to be doing a lot of pattern designing for other people. I was using Stitch Fiddle, which is a free service, which I think is great if you are just designing stuff for yourself. If you are looking to sell your designs, then I would suggest checking out WinStitch. I've left a link to it down below. There is a demo version that you can use to check out the functionalities. I really didn't realize how great it was until I started digging into all of the different features it had. And I talk about that a little bit in the video, but not too much. So yeah, no drawing tablet. I just use a pen, pencil, and mouse to create my designs. All right, here comes the video. I hope you enjoy. So last stream we were talking about, I was asking if people would be interested in hanging out with me while I did some cross-stitch design. And yeah, so that's what we're going to do tonight. I'll show you kind of how I keep myself organized with my references and things like that. And then just we're going to work on some stuff. So this is the program that I use. It's called WinStitch. There is a free demo version of WinStitch if you are interested in it. The only thing is you can create patterns and things like that, but you can't export them to PDF. So if you wanted to make a pattern to actually work from, it's pretty difficult to work from the design program. So that's kind of the limitation of the demo program, but otherwise you can check out all of the different features. It is a bit on the pricier side for a program, at least for me anyways, but I was very lucky and I received a copy for my birthday. We're gonna hop over to my Notion. If you guys aren't familiar with Notion, it is a note-keeping, note-taking, keep yourself crazy organized software that I use. And I use it for keeping track of my cross-stitch stuff, including my design ideas. So this is my little design ideas table, including who suggested it and kind of what general category it falls into. So I know if I'm feeling like working on something specific, if I have any design notes, and then if I have any reference photos for the thing that I'm working on, because I do a lot of pop culture stuff. I can actually, I want to do a Pokemon Pokedex needlebook. So if I open this up here, I actually have images of the original Pokedex so that I can just work from these reference images when I'm ready to work on that. So this is just a pretty simple table, but I like using, as you can see, I have a lot of ideas. But yeah, it just kind of keeps me a bit more organized than than just like a straight up list, because I can keep all of my references in the same spot. So the one we are going to be working on today, at least at the beginning, is a Fraggle Rock one that Toot suggested. So this is Moki, who is a Fraggle. And we're going to be doing a little piece based on her. So that's going to be our kind of inspiration for today. So the saying that Toot suggested was, "In a sea of doozers, be a Moki." So this is Windstitch. One thing that I really like, so I decided I like smaller pieces in general. I just find that they're, for me, I like quick wins. So I decided for this one, I'm going for about a 6x6, and I wanted to do it so it would fit in a 6x6 hoop. So what I really like about Windstitch is this ability to have what they call an onion skin over top. So the grid is 6 inches by 6 inches on 14 count Ada. But then what I can do is, here's onion skin. So if it's not visible, this is just what I would have had. But then I can tick this and it'll show me where a circle would be. So I make sure I stay within the confines of that hoop. I'm talking with my hands like you can see me. But yeah. So my general vision for this is to have the to have it kind of follow the lines of the circle, the lettering. I want to do in a sea of up here at the top, doozers across here, via, and then the word Moki taking up most of the space in kind of a funky font. So let's add some stuff to our palette. I want to kind of keep the general vibe of Moki. And if you remember from that picture, she's got kind of like pinks and pale blues and that like nice mossy green. And then doozers are very like, I know that they're actually green. They're like a light green themselves, but I always associate them with their like construction stuff, so very like orange and red. So 166 is one of my favorite colors for moss greens. Ooh, but 320 is also nice. I'm just gonna throw some different colors on here. So it's never a good idea to completely 100% trust any computer representation of thread. They can only get so close, you know? So some of this is based on what I know these colors to look like, having worked with them, and also a combination of what they look like on different sites, if that makes sense. So I know that Windstitch, the colors tend to be darker. So I had a few little jump scares when I was transferring patterns over to Windstitch and they were showing up a lot darker. And I'm like, okay, I know I've actually stitched these. I know these colors are not this dark. And of course, the best way to make sure you have the right colors that you like is to actually go and pull out your floss and see if you like those colors. Like, I know I love 918 to 922 are some of my favorite, like, good rusty oranges. So I end up using those a lot. I'm very, like, nervous that you guys aren't going to enjoy this, but I just need to relax and chill, I think. So I also want to put some radishes in this design because that's Moki's main job is radish farming, radish gathering. So I need like a good leafy green, a nice like kind of deep red, and then a beige to go with it. All right, so that's going to be our starting palette, I think. So let's, I'm just going to start with this bright red. So if I can zoom in a little bit, because I want to start up here with the in a sea of doozers. So this line here is my center line. So I can center that. So in is 2 space A, C is 3 space of, so I think the S is the center there. All right, so let's try putting an S here in the middle. I'm just going to do a really simple font for this one at first, and then I'll see.
one thing that I love about WinStitch, I love this about WinStitch. Let me show you guys. It has preloaded alphabets. So if I wanted, I could just use one of these alphabets here, like for example, Chancery. I could just take this and stamp this letter here and be done with it. I like making my own alphabets. Even if they're really basic alphabets, I like making my own alphabets. So you can make your own alphabets. I have made two. So this one called Fraggle I made, and then this one called Stardew I made. So let's open up Fraggle. And then it literally just stamps the letters. So you only have to design them once, and then you don't have to like rewrite every single letter. It's the greatest thing. Because before I was doing each letter pixel by pixel every single time. And I wanted to use this font because I've got another piece about Doozers that I use this font in. So I want to keep it consistent. But I think I'm going to stretch this out and just like make it fill. Although it doesn't have to fill as much space as I thought it did. So we'll do that. And then under here, and I'll change the colors around a little bit. So these are supposed to be radishes, but it's like a line. And then the rest of the space is going to be taken up with the word Moki. Yeah, so I'm not a great artist. I will say that. Like, we do have some really amazing artists in the community, Orchid especially, and Mickey, who have done a lot of our emotes and our graphics. I'm not really a great. I don't have a natural talent for art and drawing, but I have the willingness to work at the skill of creating things that look like other things. So I don't do a lot of sketching. Like, I know a lot of people, especially with WinStitch. So what I could do actually in WinStitch is like I have this circle kind of template. I could even upload my own picture. So say I did a sketch or I did a digital sketch. I could upload that as the onion skin over the grid and then kind of build the pixel art around that that sketch. But I'm not a great sketcher, so I kind of do very basic quick sketches and then work from the pixels up. But I know a lot of people do kind of make a finished piece of artwork, so a painting, watercolor, something like that, and then create the cross stitch based on their piece of art. Right. So my vision, so I actually did do a little tiny sketch for this because my vision is to do kind of like some really like funky, cool lettering that blends around itself and is a very visual element, because that's very Moki. If you guys don't watch Fraggle Rock, you should. I didn't watch it growing up, and I have a regret that I didn't watch it growing up. So Moki is spelled M-O-K-E-Y. So the K is in the middle, so we're going to start in the middle here, and I'm going to draw some really bad lines and then we're going to fix them later. So I was kind of thinking like doing a big K like this and then an E like this. And then we do the Y coming around here. So I'm sketching in pixels right now. And then a little tiny O. I might even make the O a radish. I'm thinking maybe that might be cute. And then for the M, we could do like this. Maybe move the K over a little bit and do the O more like here, and then the Moki could be a little bit bigger. This looks a total mess, but we're gonna clean it up. So that's kind of this is my idea. Okay, so I've got my kind of general sketch in. This is the part where I stare at the design for a few minutes, feeling completely overwhelmed with no idea where to go next. So everybody, let's stare at the design for a few minutes while we try and figure out where to go next. Okay, so I definitely think I'm going to make the O into a cute little radish. So let's do that first because I know how to make a radish. That's looking cute. Asai asks, is there a mirror option in this program? There is. You can select any part, copy, mirror it, move it around, that kind of thing. All right, so I'm gonna, I like that. I want to get the K a little bit tighter. So I'm kind of liking that for the K. And I debated doing it all in caps, but I think I'm going to do this mixed case thing just because I think it's cute. I think it matches the character really well. So having like uppercase, both, uppercase, lowercase, both. So let's just thicken up this E a little bit. And I'm gonna be doing more with the colors. I think I might do like an ombre effect in the letters. Misha asked, do you design based purely on the motif, or do you also consider stitching comfort, like avoiding having lots of single pixels? I definitely consider stitching comfort. The size of the piece, the number of colors in it. I try to avoid having just 1 or 2 stitches of a color in an entire thing. And also, like you said, having like a single stitch over here and a single stitch over here, unless it's super, super necessary. Like sometimes it is kind of necessary, especially I'm thinking of my Valorant Agent pixels, pixel sprites, because they're so small that sometimes the detail is based entirely on a single pixel of a different color in a strategic location. But I am always considering the comfort of the stitcher, and making what I would like to see in a pattern and how I would like to stitch it is what I'm going for in my designs. So we're going to continue this kind of serif thing we've got going on. What do you guys think about that? I'm just going to take a little drink and stretch my hands. Okay, so I'm going to leave the Moki letters for the moment and move back up here. So one thing, I want to make sure this Bia is completely centered. So let's see. Oops, that's not what I meant to do at all. Which means figuring out how many pixels, because I think this side is longer than this side. So let's focus on, let's do the doozers first, because that's going to be easy. That's more just moving. Ta-da! Alright, so let's take a look at my palette here. And Toot very helpfully sent me a reference picture of a doozer. So let's see if we can find a good doozer mint. So one thing that I will do sometimes is if I'm doing a piece that is, I'm not going to do it at the moment because I can always change it later. And it requires me opening like 3 other programs. But there's a tool that will select DMC colors based on a hex code. So I use GIMP to pull the hex code from an image, and then I put that into the cross stitch tool. And then from there, I get the kind of the closest approximation of the color. All right, 703 chartreuse. All right, let's do that for the doozer for the moment. And then I will, I'll maybe fiddle with the tool later. But a lot of the time, like Toot just said in chat, the 703 that they're working with looks similar. Sometimes you just have to get to know your floss. And I know some people have, if you can afford it, having an entire set of floss is very, very nice. But the other thing is you can get a color card from DMC, and they have one that's just a printed color card, but they have one that's actually samples of each of the threads. I would love to have one of those, but again, money. But yeah, it's just cool that that exists. All right, so I'm just going to flood fill these letters. All right, maybe we'll do the In a Sea of Doozers in Doozer Green as well. Or should I just, I don't know. I think I'm going to do it in a similar green. I'm not going to do it in the same green, but maybe in a sea of in construction orange. They've also got like construction jackets that are like yellow, and let's do a light topaz, because I think orange or bright red would not fit in very well with the rest of it. Like, and I know the point is to have Moki stand out, but I think if it's too, I don't know, if the vibes are too dissimilar, I think that would just be too off-putting. Let's stare at it for a little bit longer. I am going to move this B into the same yellow, because I think I like that. So yeah, I'm liking that. I'm wondering, do I make these like more arrow-like? Oops. What do you think? What do you guys think of that? Like, obviously I'd move this Y down a little bit. Maybe bring this down a little bit more. And then, how's that? Okay, so I'm really happy with how this section looks. So I think I'm done hecking with this. It's time to heck with this. So I want to use this, the pink, the blue, and the moss green. So my first thought was to do an outline of the letters. But because they get so thin in places, I think that might not be as effective. So what I kind of want to do is like an ombre. So the bottom of the letter would be green. I'm just doing this to show you. And then moving into blue. And then moving into pink. You think Moki is more of a lavendery pink? I think so, yeah. All right, how do we feel about that mauve? Maybe a little bit lighter? 3727. I feel like we have that one in stock. Please hold. No, I don't have that one to hand, but I do like the way it looks. Try 3836. So there are like 500 colors of DMC, which is why it can be so hard to find the right one. And also why we tend to kind of gravitate towards our favorites, because there's too much. There's too much choice. All right, that one has been found in person. It has been approved. So I'm going to try doing and I think it works really well with these other colors too. So I'm going to try doing an ombre. Is it just me, or does this song kind of sound like Adam's song from Blink-182? Or is it just because I'm a giant emo? Okay, so I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know if I'm liking it. Although it does look kind of like one of her paintings. The other option is doing each letter in a different color. So if I did, for example, this one in this color and the M in the light blue. You'd fill in the bottom of the E with the blue, so like the little tail over here. Yeah, so that means we need one more color because we've got the radish for the O. All right, let me go back to my reference image. She's got some like light purple. So that's one way to go about it. But I think what Toot's saying, and I think what Sai is saying, is that doing all of the letters the same color is better. Do a little overview right now. All right, so this is what we have right now. So I'm going to take a drink and I'm going to stare at it for a few minutes. I see what Toot is saying with all the same color, but I think I like all the different colors because I feel like that's very artistic, very Moki, and it's got all of the colors in there. I think I am going to swap the green and the lavender because having the two lavenders next to each other, and then when I chart it for Toot to make, I'll just make it all the same color. And like Toot said, I could offer both options in the PDF. Yeah. That's definitely always an option. I do really like that pale lavender. Thank you for that suggestion there. I haven't done much with the new color palette, to be real honest. The 32. Yeah, I like that. I was a little bit worried that the radish wouldn't read as an O, but I think it really does. I want to do a little bit of tweaking with not with the flood fill. Nope, not flood fill. My precision at this zoomed out perspective isn't great, but I want to be able to see more of it. Let's add a little bit more of the lavender. I really like Moki as a character because, like, she's a caregiver. She's very artistic. I don't know. I vibe with her. She's got a really awesome cardigan. I'm a little bit concerned about this white space right here. Moki does give DH vibes, or DH gives Moki vibes. One of the two. Maybe if I kick this K a little bit over here to fill up some of that space. All right, let's try that. Arcane cross right now, but we're working on it. He looks like a little running dude. I think this needs to be a little bit further over for that bottom leg to make sense. I'm actually just going to move it. I think I can... I don't like it all the way over here. All right, how do we feel about that? I feel like this radish needs to be like a little bit fatter, but now it's all the proportions are off. Heck. 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 Okay. Okay. I like it. I think I need to walk away from it now. Let's take a moment to appreciate it. But I think I think that's really cute. I like it. All right, so let's save that. So first I'm going to just I'm going to do a little bit of fiddling with the palette. So we're going to remove all unused threads. So okay, that's a good, I like that. That's a nice limited palette. I also like to go through and make sure the symbols are not weird. There are so many symbols for DMC, and some of them are a little bit strange and hard to read. So I like making them a little bit simpler on the eyes, but still easy to differentiate. So I'm just going to go through and change some of them. And this is one that I'm planning on stitching like quite soon, actually. So I might pull the thread for it and make some changes to the colors based on how the thread looks in person. It is very DH colors. I think that's because I am actually Moki. Low-key Moki. Very cool. So 6 inches, 9 colors. I'm happy with that. I like that. So I'm going to do some test stitching on this, clean it up a little bit. It will be available in the Etsy store soonish.
Well, thanks so much for joining me. This is a bit of a different video, but right about now you should be seeing some buttons popping up around my head. If you hit this one, you'll subscribe to the channel, and if you hit one of these, you'll go to another one of my crafting videos. Until then, friends, I will see you in the live streams, I'll see you in the coffee shop, I'll see you in the Discord, but most of all, I'll see you in my heart. All right, bye.